3 years ago, I realized I'm not reaching my potential and I really wanted to do that, but then I felt so stressed and overwhelmed with all the things that I had to do that I was feeling I was missing out on life. Today, I actually love my life. I get to work with the people that are closest to me and I crushed all of my goals. Well, that's great for you, Niels, but why would I care about that? In this video today, I want to share with you the one thing I did, the one thing that actually helped me to do that. And I'm also going to share with you the easiest way how you can do that one thing the fastest way. Does that sound cool? Cool? Okay, let's do it. So what is it? Monk mode. So you can use that as like a monk mode, like if you want to. Probably you already heard about it, but let me actually explain because there are a couple more things to it and some nuances that I found how you can make that actually so much faster and so much easier. The reason why I started that is because I saw all these other people reach their potential. And I looked at them and was like, they're not smarter than me or better than me. They didn't look that way. And of course they weren't. Of course I'm better and of course I'm smarter. But I still couldn't do it. I read every self-help book. I did courses. I worked out twice a day. I still wanted to spend all the time with my friends as well, that I had free time to not miss out on that social interaction. And somehow I wasn't making any progress. I was doing so many things and I wasn't aware of that. So back then, my girlfriend, who now is my wife, she looked at me and she's like, well, what are you doing? You're all over the place. And I was like, no, I'm not. Like, I'm getting my life together. I have to do all the things and grind and hustle and do the right things because I want to reach my potential. And she's like, look, dude, how about you get your shit together and you just focus on the work part? And then eventually later, once you figure that out and once everything is clear, how about then you do the life and the work together? And then that might actually work. And I was like, huh. Kind of sounds smart. And then I did that. So I entered monk mode. And the two things that are most important in monk mode to actually make that happen is flow and knowing your one thing. Let me show you. The one thing, I didn't make that up, that comes from this book called, well, The One Thing. And it's from Gary Keller. And that book actually changed my life. And that book did so many good things to me. Because the thing is, if you're going into monk mode and if you're really focused on doing one thing and working on one thing, you kind of got to know what your one thing is, right? What the exercise does is you look at your areas in life. You look at health, wealth, relationship, and you break that down. And you say, okay, in 5 years from now, where do I actually want to be? What's my 5-year goal? And what do I want to achieve in all of those 3 areas? So for example, in the health area, you could say, well, I want to be able to run a marathon. If today you walked a flight of stairs and you're out of breath, probably that's a really hard thing to do, right? It's an almost impossible thing to do this year. But if you break that down into 5 years, all of a sudden that's fine. Like, okay, maybe the first year I run 5K without a time limit. Like, I just want to be able to run 5K. Second year, maybe I want to be able to run 10K. And then fifth year, I want to do a full marathon. Right? So all of a sudden, if you break that down, it takes off all the pressure. And it's so easy to fall into that trap and just do too much and too many things. But if you break it down, it all becomes very doable, right? The same goes for finances. So for the wealth part, it's like, okay, I want to be able to do $1 million this year. It's going to be really tough, right? But if you look at 5 years, what do I need to know in order to start a business that can generate that for me? That's a massive goal. But if then again, you break that down into, well, maybe this year I learn how to sell, next year I learn how to lead people, then I learn marketing, then I learn whatever else you need to learn to grow a business, right? So you learn all of these things and you spend just 1 year learning one single skill, all of a sudden that's fine. From your 5-year goals, you say, okay, now that I have my 5-year goals, what is the one thing I need to do each year in order to go there? For this year, what is the one thing that I need to do this year in order to get closer to that goal? And then you go backwards. Well, what do I need to do each quarter in order to reach that goal? Then what do I need to do this quarter in order to reach the goal? What do I need to do every month this quarter in order to reach the goal? What do I need to do every week? What do I need to do this week? What do I need to do today? And every week you know what you need to do. This week you make a plan, you know what to do this week. Next month you make a plan, you know what the one thing that month. When the quarter comes around, you make a plan, you know what's the one thing that quarter. Does that make sense? It's actually quite simple. But it's really, really important that you do that because if you're going into monk mode, it's such a powerful, potent thing that if you focus on the wrong thing and you do the one wrong thing, it's kind of wasted, isn't it? So now, how do you actually do this? How are you doing this monk mode thing? You can do it in one way, which is very overwhelming. You can say, okay, for the next year, I'm not going to do anything anymore and I'm not going to speak to anyone. I'm just going to bury myself in my apartment and work. That's not probably going to work. why don't you start with something like a mini monk mode? Say, hey, for the next 3 months, I'm committing a certain time a day where I only focus on my one thing. So make it the same day, the same time, you schedule that time, and then no one can talk to you. Like then when I did it, I messaged all of my friends and I say, hey, for this year, don't ask me out for drinks. I'm happy to go for lunch. That's fine. But I knew if I'm going into this monk mode, I actually need to make 2 more hours in a day or 3 more hours. So I can't watch that much Netflix or TV. I can't go out, get drunk, and then and then be hungover next day. So I can't actually do anything. So you do need to sacrifice some things. And for me, the big sacrifice was spending time with friends and going out and having drinks, because I really enjoyed that and I really liked that. When I messaged everyone though, they were pissed. They were like, man, you don't want to spend time with us. I don't know what's wrong with you. So they were not supportive on that. And that was hard initially. Guess over the next year, how many of those people actually messaged me to go out for lunch? 0. Not one person asked me, hey, let's go for lunch. Everyone just wanted me around to have fun going out for drinks. That's it. And that just showed it that the people I was around weren't the right people, and I cut them all out. And that was amazing, because that experience enabled me to actually see that. So when you go into monk mode, you will have supporters and you will have haters, and that is okay. And the ones that are hating don't even care about that. It doesn't matter, because then that's not the right people. And the people that do support you, you can get even closer with them, because now you have something in common where you can talk about. You know your one thing. You told everyone what you're going to do. You're entering a mini monk mode. Here's where focus becomes really important. So for me personally, if you put me in a room and the room has windows, guess what I'm not going to do? I'm not going to look at my computer and actually do some work, because where am I going to look? Outside of the window, because the world seems like such a fun place. I'm very easily distracted. I'm not sure if you have that. If you also get that easily distracted, let me know in the comments below. Once I knew that, I made myself an environment where there's no windows. It's my environment where there's no distraction. There's literally nothing in the room. There's a table and there's a computer. There's not even a second screen or something, because the whole purpose of all of this is being able to sit down and be focused. So what you do is you put your phone on airplane mode, or you put it on non-disturb mode, and you can program it so that only certain people's call can go through and most people's call don't. Never once did I miss a message that I didn't actually have time to reply later. It didn't matter. There was never anything that urgent that, I missed. Now, of course, if you have this one thing and you know how important it is for your life, it might get hard to actually start with that. So here's the one thing I do if I get stuck. And if you're looking at that one blank sheet or that Word file or whatever, and it has this blinking cursor on it and you don't know what to do or what to write, that's okay. Just start with something simple. Start with something easy. Start with a task or something that you can do. Don't go through all your tasks of the day. That's not what this is for. This is a specific time to get the shit done that you need to get done to move yourself into the next stage of life. Of course, it will not always work. Of course, there are days where you don't feel like it, or where you're not in the mood, or where you couldn't make it work, or where the day, structure just didn't allow it. It's okay. Don't be too hard on yourself. Because the thing is, once you've been doing it for a week or 2, and every day you're more productive than ever, guess what? You're gonna get really addicted to that, and you never want to do anything else. Actually, I got so addicted to the monk mode that I've extended it and extended it and extended it, and now I'm 3 years in. So for the last 3 years, I've been dedicated and focused and have my work time every day where I like to focus on only my one thing. And the truth is that thing that is so addictive to do it, because you get so much done. And because of that, because of you get so much done, you're growing so much as a person. And if you grow as a person, all of a sudden, you don't have the people that you shouldn't have in your life anymore because you got them out. And because you became a better person, you attract better people into your life. You have better people in your life is better. Why? Because you work with people that you value, and the people that are closest to you, if you can work with them and spend every day with them and work on the one thing that you all believe in together, that is pure success. And if you can achieve that, I hope that you can achieve that. And maybe you're not going to achieve that after 3 months, but that is okay. The important thing is to get started. So I wish you luck. I hope you succeed, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.